Hey everyone, Scott here from drivingreview.com, and if I can get my seatbelt on here without knocking my camera over, we're gonna go for a drive. Those of you who have been following my channel for a while now, at least for the past 6 months or so, you kind of know the drill. I get in my car, I do an intro, and we go for a drive. It's kind of all I got at the moment, but actually I was planning on going down to the beach today here in San Diego, but as you can see, June gloom is in full effect here, and it's just not a good beach day. If I want to take you down to the beach, I want it to be a nice day, and I want the visuals to be good. So, otherwise, there's really not much to see. So we're going to go for a drive instead. And today, I'm going to answer one of the questions that I get a lot. Because I've owned a 350Z in the past, and now I'm driving this 2012 Mustang GT Premium, people always ask me, which one is better? Which one do I like more? And I've actually got a lot to say about that, so let's just go and I'll tell you what I think. So I'm gonna break this down into several different categories. First one being performance, and then I'm gonna talk about daily driving and what that is like, living with each car on a daily basis. And then the third thing is cost of ownership. And again, if you've been watching any of my videos, you know this part of the video is the tricky part, where I'm trying to back out of the spot without hitting other cars. I think that's gonna work. That works. And yeah, we're out. So, in a nutshell, I miss my 350Z. It was such a great car. I think it was the best car that I've ever owned. Thinking back on all the cars that I've owned, I owned that thing I bought it brand new in 2004, and I drove it all the way till 2010. It was my daily driver, my only car, and I miss it. I really do. And that's not to say that I don't like this Mustang. I do, but I like the Mustang for different reasons. And I think that the 350Z and the Mustang GT are two completely different cars. And I will say also that when I was driving my Mustang, or when I was driving my 350Z, I was always wanting to get a Mustang GT instead. Several times, I actually seriously thought about trading it in on a Mustang GT, but I couldn't do it. I liked the 350Z so much. I liked the sport car feeling of the 350Z. I love it. I love just having a two-seater, just a small, nimble sports car. And, you know, it wasn't the fastest car. I knew a Mustang GT would be faster in a straight line, but it was going to be so hard to give up, and I couldn't do it. And eventually, I did sell the 350Z. I traded it in on a Honda Fit, but that was because I got married, and then we needed a reliable car. But anyway, talking about performance of the 350Z compared to the Mustang GT. More specifically, it was a 2004 350Z base model. They all had the same engines back then, so there was no performance difference. And the Mustang GT that I'm in right now is a 2012 with the 5.0 Coyote V8. Both cars had a 6-speed manual transmission, so they're kind of similar, but not, but yeah. So I think I've already said it, and I think anyone who knows these two cars know exactly what I'm going to say, is that the Mustang GT is just brute force straight line speed. This 5.0 Coyote V8, it's fast. It's extremely fast, almost too fast for me at times, especially in a city like San Diego where there's traffic everywhere all the time, and you can't really ring it out except for times like this. But actually, the car is still cold, and I don't want to get on it. But just getting on freeways, on the on-ramps, I love it. It's amazing. This is why I like the Mustang. The 350Z will not put a smile on my face, and I got a check engine light, and the check engine light went away. You know, that's weird, because that's done that before. It did that maybe 2 years ago. I was getting on a freeway like that, and the check engine light came on, and it went away, and I never saw it again, but it just flashed right there. So hopefully that's not a bad thing. So yeah, as I was saying, the 350Z and the Mustang GT, they deliver power very differently. So that needs to be a consideration when you're deciding between these two cars. The 350Z was just fast all around. It was fast in a straight line, relatively quick, not as fast as a Mustang GT, of course, but it was fast around the corners as well. That thing was tight all around, and I could take freeway on-ramps much faster in the 350Z than I can on the Mustang, and it was just a very nimble, quick, very darty car, whereas the Mustang GT is very fast in a straight line, and it's a little bit floaty on the stock suspension, and then you have more play in the steering, and it's just not as tight overall. So in regards to performance, I think I made the right step up to a Mustang GT from the 350Z, maybe. I do miss the feeling of having a quick, nimble sports car. The Mustang GT is quick, it's not nimble, so as you can see, I'm just, I love both cars, and I'd love to have both. And I guess if I'm being honest, I can't really say that one of these cars is better than the other. If you like straight line speed, you like the Mustang. If you just like going fast around corners and relatively quickly in a straight line, the 350Z, that's the way to go. Okay, in terms of living with either car as a daily driver, I'd have to give the advantage to the Mustang simply because it's a slightly bigger car. The ride is a little bit softer, and you don't sit so low. In the 350Z, I was a lot younger back then, and I didn't mind getting in and out of a sports car like that every day. I drove it every day to and from work, grocery shopping, everything. And I didn't mind, but now in my advanced years, I don't know if I'd like that as much. I'd still love to have a 350Z, definitely. But one nice thing about the Mustang is that, especially with this premium version, you got the leather seats, and they're a little bit bigger. I mean, they're okay. I would like to have a somewhat more aggressive seat. These are a little bit too cushy and sofa-like for my tastes, but again, let's get another pull here without getting a check engine light. That's better. She's not complaining. That's a good thing. So yeah, the Mustang is just generally better overall from a daily driver point of view. There's more storage. The trunk is bigger. One thing that I really didn't like about the 350Z is the trunk. There was no storage space in that car. And of course, it's a two-seater. I'm not knocking it. I knew what I was buying into when I got it, but there's that cross member bar, that support bar that goes all the way across the trunk, and it was annoying. I couldn't get anything in there. Going to the grocery store was an ordeal because there's no storage at all at the 350Z. But here in the Mustang, I've got storage for days. It's slightly too big for my tastes. I do like a smaller sports car. That's my preference. But from a daily driver point of view, the Mustang is better. Gas mileage is better on the 350Z, of course, because of the V6 versus the V8 of the Mustang. And the Mustang doesn't get very bad gas mileage, at least in my experience, as long as I don't really get on it, which is not fun if you're driving a 5-liter Mustang, but if you drive it normal, it gets pretty good gas mileage. But if you're having fun with it and you're driving it like it should be driven, then you're gonna spend more on gas. So yeah, winner in the daily driver category, Mustang. So in terms of cost of ownership, that's kind of a big thing that people want to know when comparing these two cars. To be honest, maybe the 350Z was a little bit more expensive for me, but in my experience, both the Mustang and the 350Z have been completely dead nuts reliable for me. I didn't have a problem with either car, and it's just maintenance. That's all that I've had to deal with on both cars. Tires for both the 350Z and the Mustang GT are expensive. No, you don't have to buy expensive tires, but I'm of the opinion that if you have a nice car, don't skimp on tires, especially if you have a fast car, a very well handling car, or a high performance car. Definitely don't skip on the tires. You want to get something good. So the tires on this car, for example, the Michelin Pilot Super Sports, these were $250 a piece. And then the tires that I had on the 350Z, I believe those were Bridgestone Potenzas. Those were, again, $250 a piece. So you don't have to spend that much, but I did. So that was about the same. Oil changes are the same, of course. I do full synthetic oil for my fun cars. that's a little bit pricey. And in terms of regular maintenance, I guess, things like fluid changes, like transmission, differentials, cooling, that sort of thing, prices are about the same. At least when I'm thinking back on it, I can't think of any one maintenance item on the 350Z that was really crazy, really high. The Mustang GT hasn't been very high at all. I can take this car anywhere. I guess I can take the 350Z anywhere as well, but the 350Z, when I bought it, it was kind of it was new. I mean, it was just released. And I didn't feel comfortable taking it to just any old repair shop. But I guess if you buy a 350Z now, you could. This car I could definitely take to any repair shop, and maintenance costs are generally fairly low. They're not bad at all. So, in conclusion, what do I think about the Mustang GT versus the 350Z? If I had to do it all over again, which one would I choose? And I hate that question because I can't decide. As I said earlier, they're two completely different kinds of cars. If you're into brute power, straight line speed, absolutely get the Mustang. Yes, you can make a corner fast, just put it on a decent suspension. There are all kinds of suspension kits available for the Mustang GT. You can make it so that it corners fairly well, so that's not a big issue. It's just you're going to be paying a little bit more. But in completely stock form, 350Z versus Mustang GT, I don't know. I want to have both. If I had a lot of garage space, if I had a place to put more than one car, hold on. Anyway, like I was saying, if I had a place to put more than one car, I would have both a Mustang GT and a 350Z. As a matter of fact, I've been really feeling tempted to pick up a 350Z project car. I want to get another one. They're actually coming down in price enough that it wouldn't be all that crazy financially to get a 350Z. But the problem is I just don't have a place to keep it, and I don't have a lot of extra money right now anyway. So it's kind of out of the cards for the time being. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today, and I hope that answered some questions for you. And like I said, I've owned both cars. I had a 350Z for 6 years, and I've been in and out of Mustang GTs since 2011, I believe. It's 2020 now, so over 9 years of Mustang GT ownership, various Mustang GTs. So if you have any questions, do leave them down in the comment section below. I've owned both. I can give good advice, I think. And again, it's just personal preference. They're both really great cars. I'd love to have both. But anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.